Long ago, I too was once a Fire Emblem baby. I had no idea what I was doing. I picked up this game, not knowing all the maths, triangles, who's the best girl, nothing. I knew nothing. However, despite my units being completely underleveled and lacking the strength to get through, one man stood above the rest. A man full of big dick energy that is unmatched by most. Frederick, thank you. Without you, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Which is probably a good thing, to be honest. But Frederick, you are indeed an absolute unit, and I will pick a god and pray that you will live on forever. Thank you.
It feels good to be back doing these. Hello, Happy World, and welcome to the 5th installment of General Van's Absolute Unit! If you are new to my channel, in this series we take a look at the most overpowered and broken units in Fire Emblem. This episode, though, is going to be a bit of a special one. Let me explain. When one thinks of overpowered Fire Emblem units, who comes to mind? Seth? Ryoma? Hector? Amelia? Well, these are all stupidly broken units in their own right and have definitely earned the right to be known as an absolute unit. We must not forget another man of absolute unitness, that's a real word, who may not be as amazing as the aforementioned, but was a lot of first-time players' exposure to how good a unit can be. And that man is none other than the man who wants you to pick a god and pray, and Chrom's #1 fan, sorry Cordelia and Robin, Frederick. Frederick is the first pre-promote you get in the game during Chapter 1 and stays with you throughout the entire game. Depending on the difficulty you choose, you may not even need to use him much if you are an experienced player and know what you're doing. But if you are new to the series, then Frederick is your crutch for the first few chapters, especially if you are trying to recruit Lord Pothead over here and fuck his map and everything it stands for. I freaking hate it. Since Awakening is the go-to game for most new players, myself included, Frederick is basically a god compared to everyone else. We see that armored horse, that big-ass armor that rivals Urza's adamantium armor, and of course his signature quote,
"Pick a god and pray."
We also see dem stats. At first glance, these stats look busted compared to Chrom and Robin's and eventually Stall and Sully when they arrive. That is definitely 100% a toilet. However, after a few chapters, you'll realize that his bases are a bit less than a promoted Cavaliers, so Stall and Sully, unless RNG decide to say fuck you, you stupid Fire Emblem bozo, will surpass him alongside other mounted units. He does start out with a Silver Lance, which is nice since he can one-shot most enemies in the first few chapters with it. He does have a B rank in Lances though, so I won't be missing much with basically any Lance he is given, and given that he has the Discipline skill, it's fairly easy to get him to max rank. Outdoor Fighter also makes him more dodgy in outdoor maps, which is nice since Great Knights usually can't dodge to save their big old booties. His growth rates are actually pretty good considering he is of the Oifeys archetype, boasting 50% minimum for strength, skill, speed, and defense, as well as a respectable 40% luck growth. He has the growth rates to still be viable through the rest of the game. Being a pre-promote means that grinding will be a pain in the dick, and he is an XP drain when overused though, so keep that in mind. When reclassing, his growths remain nearly the same with all classes, with some minor changes in strength and speed. You can reclass him into a general and he'll gain more defenses to further support that already gigantic booty of his. He's still weak to magic, so be wary of that. We don't want another Sigurd, do we? Which would mean that I would have to make a theory as to why Frederick is like Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit or some stupid shit like that. If you want booty that flies instead, you could also reclass him into a Wyvern Lord or Griffin Rider. But who in the fuck Alright, be serious. Who in the fuck uses the Griffin Rider class? I guess getting Lancebreaker is nice, but are you really going to reclass and do all that work to counter one fucking weapon? Yeah, I thought so. Wyvern Lord, on the other hand, boosts his defense even further than Griffin Rider and is generally the best class to reclass him into due to him having a mount and getting around obstacles the easiest due to being a flyer. However, because I think Great Knights look absolutely cool as shit and are generally probably my favorite class in the series, I always keep Frederick as a Great Knight. Even after I reclass him, I just reclass him again into a Great Knight because, I mean, it's a Great Knight. That's all I need to say. In terms of supports, Lissa is a pretty good match since he'll give her a boost in defense and carrying around for healing is always good. There is just a slight problem with this. Just a slight problem. Oh yeah, that's your Lord's fucking sister, Frederick. You could also pair him with Sumia, but if you do that, you are a freaking monster since that's your Lord's fucking wife. In some form of canon. I don't know. Chrom Sumia for life. I'm sorry, Cordelia. I'll always love you. Well, at least he can't marry his daughter. Now that would be messed up. Robin! But you could also pair him up with Church since she is a flyer and they are kind of cute together. Overall, Frederick doesn't seem like an absolute unit. A great unit indeed, but not nearly as impactful as the other units covered so far like Hector, Ryoma, or Seth. What makes Frederick an absolute unit though is the fact that he is basically the training wheels for a lot of newer players, including myself. I started with Awakening and Frederick was right there with his glorious presence and amazing combat ability. Not to mention he is basically required to get through the first few chapters of Lunatic and absolutely mandatory for the hell that is Lunatic Plus. Awakening, alongside Blazing Sword and sometimes Path of Radiance depending on who you ask, are often considered the best places to start when getting into Fire Emblem. However, due to the popularity of Awakening thanks to Bang Bros, Smash Bros, as well as quality of life enhancements compared to previous games and ease of access due to being available on the 3DS, it will most likely be chosen as the starting point for new players. And when they start and are intimidated by all the damn math they have to do, because seriously, Fire Emblem is basically math but fun, Frederick and his beautiful big booty will be there destroying everything in his path with his Silver Lance. Because of this, he has absolutely earned his right to be known as an absolute unit. Haha, see what I did there? I'm funny. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. I know it's been forever since I did an absolute unit, but I wanted to explore other topics as well and make myself seem smart occasionally, because yeah, I'm a dummy. Absolute unit is definitely still a mainstay on this channel, so don't worry about that. It will be a mainstay for a long time, so don't cry if you go for a month without absolute unit, because I still love you. General Van will always think of his, like, how many fans do I have? Like, none, but I still love you, don't worry. Anyway, guys, this is a daily reminder to play Bang Dream Girls Band Party, and I will see you all on the next time. If that's a stream, absolute unit, who knows? Maybe something different? I don't know, but I will definitely see you again. Peace. Have a great day.